All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to the very first episode tonight. And this is not me. I didn't unmute. This is the Legend of Three Kingdoms. These are all the Three Kingdoms players. They know more about Shadowrun than I do. Announcements. Daggerheart's coming out on the 20th. Get ready for it. Demiplane has done their integration of character sheets and Roll20. It's now in the beta stage. So if you play. Where'd the email go? Hold, please. If you play Alien the RPG, Candela Obscura, Cyberpunk Red, Marvel Multiverse role playing game, Pathfinder 2e, and Starfinder 2e, and Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition, you can now use your character sheets on Demiplane and link them to characters on Roll20. And it's a very cool process that I haven't tried because I don't own any of those games. It's very, very cool, and we had an entire conversation about how this could change the fate of tabletop RPGs, and I'm not going to go through it again. So I'll make a video about it sometime. YouTube.com/says Trader Jody. I feel dumb. Buy
Luis
Curious
Carrazzo.
Buck. It's
Luis
really cool.
Carrazzo. He's DMing for the first, he's on Tales Unrolled, wonderful cast. Check this out. Hey, here's my friend Kiri Callaghan's book, Earth Witch's Guide to Magic and Murder. You can pre-order up until October 7th. Pre-orders count towards book sales. Buy
Oh,
it. Buy it, or you're going to piss off the Fae.
and you don't want to piss off the Fae. They're the one group. They're basically, it's IRS, Customs, and the Fae. Three groups that you don't mess with. Yeah. It was a cool conversation that we had. No one will ever know
Hmm.
what was said. I mean, we'll know what was said, but that doesn't matter.
It was so cool.
It was
It
probably
was
like
amazing, guys.
if we had actually recorded it,
Big Tabletop doesn't want you to know.
yeah, Big Tabletop doesn't want you to know what we were talking about, and they're turning the tieflings into Azmar.
You're borderline doing an impression. I think you should stop.
That was exactly what it was. It was 100% an impression. It's a fun voice. The person behind it's kind of, but the voice is fun.
Not kind of. He's horrible.
Um, but anyway, uh, yeah, cool things are happening in the tabletop world. We talked
Oh,
about a lot of
the
them.
last and just before we entered, uh, Dungeons and Dragons D&D Beyond, the errata is out officially.
Oh yeah,
They have Sage Devices available and errata for the new core rules. I'm going. I'm sorry, was the Coast. I love you. I went to your building on my birthday and got my picture taken with Mitzi. Um, why did you do the Pseudo Dragons dirty?
they did a lot of
They
things dirty in
but but
2024.
but there's an errata on it. But it was like, oh please, Monster Manual, what did you do? There's Pseudo Dragons. They show up. It's about the sting. Give them back their limited telepathy.
It's how it works. So yeah. So new errata. Officially, Jeremy Crawford is gone. His last day was Friday. Unlike Chris Perkins, who referred to this as him retiring, Crawford has simply said he is leaving Dungeons and Dragons and looks forward to what else he's doing in the tabletop world. So there's a very good chance Crawford is going, either already has another company that he's thinking about going to, or will start looking for other jobs in the TTRPG world, which is a big world now. You know, when Crawford started 18 years ago, it really wasn't that big. You had Paizo, Wizard of the Coast, White Wolf, and then a bunch of indie developers. Oh, and who is it? Chaosium are the people that do Call of Cthulhu? Whoever does Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Like, those were really your choice, unless you wanted to go to, like, Japan. Um, Nowadays, though, like, there's lots of big names that probably would welcome someone with Crawford's experience. So people, specifically on D&D YouTube, people have been kind of whispering, maybe Jeremy Crawford will now be at direct odds with his former. Not really. And the first time I met Chris Perkins was at Gen Con, and while I was there, uh, somebody from Paizo came over And Crawford introduced me as his friend, or not Crawford, Perkins introduced me as his friend, and he has affirmed that he and I are friends because I'm friends with Chris
He said
Perkins.
he said it
He
twice.
said it twice now, guys. I'm Chris Perkins' friend. But there's not really a whole lot of bad blood between Paizo and Wizards of the Coast. As much as the fans have a lot of bad blood, the people don't. Fun fact, Dungeon Magazine and
Personal opinion, Crawford, please don't go to Paizo.
No, don't go to Paizo. There's much better places you could go. But fun fact, Dragon Magazine and Dungeon Magazine were published by Paizo until it broke off. Like, that's where Paizo comes from, is they used to publish magazines. And they eventually decided, what if we made our own shit? So, yeah, the idea that Crawford's gonna, like, go and fight against... He's not. Indie TTRPGs
At indiscriminate
cutthroat.
age, indiscriminate age, we don't want to fight anyone. We really don't.
Indie tabletop RPGs are cutthroat, and people get vicious there. But the actual big manufacturers, they don't hate each other. It's just the fans. They all know each other. So it's a thing I used to mention in retail all the time. Once you get up to like the store assistant store manager level in retail, you know the managers at all your competitor stores, and most of them are your friends, because the way you get paid better as a store manager is you work for a competitor for a while, and when they stop giving you pay increases, you switch companies that you work for, and that's how you make money as a store manager. So we used to have people, it's like, well, I'm going to go to your competitor. They will do a good price. Tell Phil I said hi. What? That's the store manager over there. He's a nice guy. But no, we don't hate each other. We don't. The bigwigs, they may hate each other. We don't. We have equally shitty jobs. Like, we understand.
Don't you want to destroy Phil's business?
No,
Phil's
he's
a
a
great
nice guy.
guy. He
No.
runs a great store.
No, I
Have him
love
over
Dan.
for burgers. He's got a barbecue recipe that is to die for. All of these like holy wars that people get into for large corporations, they don't care. They really don't. As long as people are making money, nobody gives a shit. It's just the hyper fanatics that get bent out of shape. Though I will say, I vehemently despise Pathfinder. But it's a fine game. It's just massively overly designed. Anyway, yeah. So cool things are happening in the world of tabletop RPGs. We have more stuff we talked about. I
like to also point out, this is a speed running.
Yeah, this is doing it fast. Now, it's time for us to return an hour late to the.
I hate to break it to you, that we're still pretty much on our average.
No, I keep us to a tight ship. Normally, announcements are 15 minutes, and we get running around 9:45. I have a clock here that I keep track of. Anyway, now it is time for us to return to the legend of the Three Kingdoms. After dealing with the Were-Slayers, the party made its way to Ebenthor, a city where Argenta awoke, died, and rebirthed over and over and over. The city of Ebenthorn is a city of hunters. But as the party got closer, they noticed something strange. The city, which was normally bustling at all times of the day, either with hunters preparing to go out for their hunts or celebrating those that came back. The city itself seemed off. There was no movement. There was no joy. There was no sadness. It was nothing. As the party got closer, they realized the city itself seemed to be abandoned, aside from a number of unconscious bodies. As they were attempting to figure out exactly what was going on, one of the unconscious bodies awoke. The recently awoken person spoke almost completely out of madness. They seemed to talk about things that shouldn't be able to happen. They were terrified of going back to sleep. They eventually convinced him to return with them to their camp outside of this city, far enough away that he felt that he was no longer in danger, where he promptly fell asleep. And that is where we return. So, grand total of the amount of time that you guys spent there.
Couple hours.
Yeah, like you guys weren't there for very, very long. Sorry, I'm just looking for the right. Do I not have that? Yeah, there it is. So yeah, you guys went in. Your whole investigation and travel to and from time. It's probably like mid-afternoon at this point. Like maybe 1-2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, as soon as you guys
Our intent is to go back across the bridge.
yeah, as soon as you guys got kind of far enough away and kind of set up your camp again on the other side of the bridge, the man that had claimed that he was never going to sleep again, kind of wore himself out and passed out. But he did.
I don't think we ever got his name.
You
Oh
did.
no, yeah, we did. Iuveska.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why you take notes.
But he seems, compared to the people that you saw before, this sleep seems significantly more natural. So, what do you guys want to do? You think he's probably going to be out at least for a couple hours, based on just how much, like, he was, like, this shy of just complete madness. So running through like that much adrenaline and everything like that, that'll cook you pretty well.
Oh yeah.
So what do the rest of you guys want to do?
Sorry, just going over.
So based on the details that he's given me, or he's given us, do I know anything like, as a lore bard, potentially would I have come across any kind of monsters that feed on dreams or anything?
Why don't you make me a history check with disadvantage?
Can I maybe help? To remind the feed.
I would say because this is like him accessing his own knowledge, you wouldn't be able to help, but you can make your own check.
Alright.
So yeah, it'd be a history check. Because of the specific nature of what you're looking up, I'll let you do a flat roll, because it would be with disadvantage, but you get advantage for recalling undead stuff.
Hmm.
I'm not
I
saying
got
that's
a
what this is, but that's what he's going to be thinking about.
19.
Okay. So, as you think about just creatures that have the ability to affect dreams and stuff like that. Again, you already have met a creature that used dreams to control someone, but as far as like feeding off them, that is kind of a unique thing. You know, there are creatures that exist that feed off of psychic energy. Things like illithids, they don't 100% persist off of psychic energy. They still eat, but that is something that draws them, especially their, I can't think of the word right now, the big giant brain puddles that control
Elder brain.
illithid hides, elder brains. Elder brains tend to feed off of psionic and kind of psychic energy. But as far as a creature that exclusively feeds off of dreams, or effectively like alpha and beta waves, you know, the stuff that's created while we're dreaming, you can't think of a specific creature like that, but you would think it's probably related some way to a creature like an illithid or an elder brain or something along that line, something with some kind of psychic ability. What do you got for me, Lillian?
21.
21. So, again, subsisting off of, you know, and feeding off of other life forms is kind of an undead's bread and butter. You know, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And so as you're sitting there kind of going through the like different things that you've dealt with, you do know that there have been like some vampires that will learn how to effectively feed off of the astral presence of their victims in addition to their physical presence. But again, that's not exclusively dreaming. And they have to physically be there. Like you've never heard of a vampire or any other kind of undead creature, a lich, anything that has been able to use an enchantment like this that would render so many people asleep and then somehow be able to gain sustenance off it. That in and of itself is weird. But the closest you can come up with would be maybe a vampire illithid or something like that. You know, like that, maybe that might be something. But that's as close as you can come up with.
How about my favorite they are all
Is face specifically one of the things that you get advantage of, or is it just undead stuff? Okay. There are some noble Eladrin that will play around with sleeping and the things like that, and there are a few fey creatures, some pixies and other things. I can't remember what they are. Is it brownies? They're basically like little fey goblin kind of things. They wear red hats.
Oh, they're red caps.
Red caps, there we go.
Yeah.
Red caps and things like that. You've heard of some of them messing around and using dreams and stuff to kind of play tricks. Again, the thing that's tripping you up is the idea of a creature being able to sustain itself somehow off of dreams. Like, that's the thing where you're like, well, there's some fey creatures that can do stuff similar to that, but they don't take sustenance from it, they take enjoyment from it. Or in the case of like a few of the really powerful noble Eladrin, they will take, they'll use it as a means of control. Very similar to the demon that you dealt with. Like, demons will use dreams to control people a lot. It's a very, very common thing. But again, it's a control aspect. It's not any form of sustenance. They get their sustenance in other ways. And again, most of these creatures that you know, like, you can't think of a single one that doesn't have to be present to get a benefit. And as far as you can tell, you guys spent a decent amount of time walking around that town. The only place where there's anything there is in that guild hall where those bodies are. You didn't find traces of animals around. In fact, you didn't see any wildlife anywhere near the place.
Yep.
Hmm.
So it is. All the things you guys have come up with have effectively given you a little bit more questions than answers, but you have been able to rule out a few things.
So a fey illithid vampire.
Ooh.
It has to be. It's the only thing that makes sense.
I mean, yeah.
My other campaign, we have a dragon beholder. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past me.
Whatever it is seem tied to the town, to a radius of that.
I've had a party make a deal with an Olithalich. Nothing's out of the ballpark.
I like a litholich. That's fun to say.
Litholich.
A litholich. Do do do.
Do-do-do-do. All right. So we've gotten the bulk of everybody to a safe
Yeah.
distance.
Safe-ish. I would remind that we still have a very angry lycanthrope general tax collector who
Sure.
who you seem to know more than he knows you.
We've had experience. I think I met him once.
I met him once too. He tried to kill us for messing with portals, but decided not to.
Yes. I didn't know if you had more history with him.
Fenrish is unique in the idea that because the entire form of government in Fenrish is might makes right. The rulers of Fenrish tend to be remarkably connected with the populace because they are constantly going around doing shit. Like they don't get to keep their position if they're not constantly out hunting things or challenging people to duels. Like they're a very active government, whereas things like the Blood Council don't interact with non-vampires, and the King and Queen of Valakovia have an entire troop of musketeers that keeps them separated from that. So anyone that spent a significant amount of time in Fenrish has probably had a run-in with at least one member of the Blood Pack.
Gang, if we do need to fight him, I could just send him a message saying that since he got his ass kicked and ran away, one of us now claims head of the Blood Pact, and we need him to surrender over the keys.
I would point out
I did that. He was very confused.
You all challenged him in different levels. He kind of ignored it. Although he still seemed to dig into his ego a bit.
He didn't seem to remember anything about that. He seemed to dislike how I was using magic to fight him, but he was also using magic to fight me, and he did it first, so fuck him.
Yeah. He was also really pissed off that I had the coin. So. All right, so any ideas on what we need to do with this town? Or how we can find out who's behind this?
Well, it definitely seems to be located within a certain radius of the city. I am wondering if maybe if the source might still be located somewhere. I mean, a point of origin has to come from somewhere.
Right. We could go back and thoroughly investigate the guild hall, search the place from top to bottom. We could also question our friend here, see if he can give us any details once he's had a chance to sleep off his adrenaline high. Once he's had a chance to relax a bit. See if he can give us any information.
I'm hoping we can get something. I wouldn't bank everything on someone who's extremely traumatized having any kind of clarity after one night of rest. Not saying it wouldn't help him, but just need something else as well.
You guys hear some movement nearby, and you see Colin kind of walking over towards you guys. He kind of wipes his hands off. Well, can't say I've ever seen someone more in need of a good night's sleep, which is odd, seeing as that's all he's been doing. But living in Meisenford, we all lost nights of sleep, and I knew quite a few people that wouldn't sleep for days, sometimes weeks at a time. I've seen the signs. Like that guy, his mind was shutting down from just lack of not being off.
Hmm.
You guys got any idea what's going on there?
Come over. You and the other none of them. Who met me? Fear what we're seeing.
Yeah. I had kind of a weird thought. None of you guys have ever done any mining, have you?
No.
So, there's a practice. Because digging out all that stuff could release stuff that would kill you.
You thought about it continuing?
Yeah. Do you guys notice that there's no animal life around there?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're far enough away, I think I've started realizing why I didn't like being there. I'm not a werewolf anymore. But there's a part of me that still remembers the feral experience. And I think whatever that was, I think other animals felt the same way, and they're avoiding the area like the plague. What if we were to use a canary to kind of map out where this thing is? Like right now, we basically just know that this far away, we're not in as much danger. But if we could get an actual map of it, I don't know. Would that help you guys?
That could.
Maybe you said that it was a bot. And
No, I'm saying I don't know of any canaries around here, but we go far enough away, we can find something small.
Well, we can. Do you think like a good sense of smell would be important for this, or?
I think it's just an instinct thing. That's what it was for me.
Yeah.
It was instinctual. So I don't think it matters what kind of animal, just that they have animal instincts. And I remember in Meisenford, there were quite a few times when we were warned about a wave of creatures coming after us, because like our dogs would start acting weird. It wasn't that they smelled them coming or anything like that. They just knew something was up.
Okay. Vala will cast Polymorph and turn into a brown bear.
He kind of looks at you. I mean, we can try it. But how much of the feral side of the bear do you experience?
That is a great question.
Like I said, I mean, we've got the wood wall to the north of us and the web wood to the east. I could probably be back, I don't know, by tomorrow with something in a cage. Again, it doesn't have to be an amazing, powerful creature, just anything.
Concern I have is like I mentioned earlier with them, we have a very angry lycanthrope out there holding a grudge against us.
Well, there's really not a whole lot we're going to be able to do about that.
Unless, like you've mentioned, feral instincts, someone separating from the group.
Hmm.
I have my concerns.
Perhaps I can be of service then? And you just watch as Colin's face just kind of drops. Obviously, the Wereslayers have not quite lived up to their calling to be the ultimate slayers of were creatures. However, something that we are very good at is staying alive. We survived your fight with the crazy werewolf people. If you're worried about us, like, going off alone, I can move pretty quickly, so can the rest of the Wereslayers. We can keep up with you, and that way he doesn't have to go alone.
Yeah, then I'm going to point out that the reason why you survived is because we were fighting. One of them backhanded you across the camp.
Yeah, but that was when there was like 5 of them. There's only 2 left.
One of them was the strongest.
If we make a big enough group, we're not going to be out there for a long time. Just say if we make a big enough target, he may wait for a little bit before chomping down on us like appetizers.
I whispered to Vala, we've tried so hard to keep these idiots alive.
Vala Bear just starts like sniffing your bag.
Whoa! When did you
Emotional
guys get a bear?
emotional
That's
support
cool.
polymorph.
Suddenly start hearing deep in the 100-acre wood. Oh, deer.
Legally distinct public domain.
He beat it up for the now, so
Yeah, I believe the songs are still copywritten.
yeah, true.
The characters themselves are now in the public of the domain.
If we... Colin, would you say if you were... Odd idea. If you were aware, you would say that maybe you might have a more instinctual capability revolving this? Or would you say it's more on the primal animal side of things?
To me, it feels like my primal side is reacting. Unfortunately, since I am no longer primal, I'm having a hard time figuring out things. Like I said, I think if I can, like a rabbit or something.
So I'm just curious because polymorph does give me the mental stats of the character I
Yeah.
change into.
You are the bear. You're not a druid.
Oh, I was sitting
All
there.
right.
If it gives you the mental stats, you might have. See, the thing that I kind of is you still have control over the form.
Right.
So you would kind of be in a similar boat to what Colin is right now. Like he can feel something, but if you guys want
Okay.
to actually map something out, I think that'd be a little bit beyond what polymorph would be able to give you in this particular instance. Does that make sense?
Fair enough. Yep, fair enough.
You would experience a very similar feeling to what Colin does.
I could try calling a friend.
You've
I
used
have-
that lifeline. You only have 50-50, and ask the audience.
Well, I happen to know that they have a unique ability. And if a lycanthrope could perhaps more intuitively be able to do what Colin's suggesting,
It'd be easier to use like a rabbit like Thomas suggested. I mean,
the one thing it would be like, it would last an hour. Because that's how long I can summon summon this friend.
What particular spell are you turning your celestial?
I'm referring to the Celestial because the Coatl has a unique ability, which is Shape Change. The Coatl can magically polymorph into a humanoid or beast that has a challenge rating equal to or less than its own, or back into its true form. It reverts to its true form if it dies. Any equipment it is wearing, carrying, absorb. In a new form, the Coatl retains its game statistics and ability to speak, but its AC, movement mode, strength, dexterity, and other actions are replaced by those of the new form. And it gains any statistics and capabilities, except class features, legendary actions, layer actions, that the new form has, but that it lacks. If the new form has a bite attack, the Coatl can use its bite attack form.
It would run into the same problem as polymorph, where the Coatl is still there.
Where it would turn into one of the things it could turn into. I looked up challenge ratings and I looked it up. It could turn into a were-tiger.
Is the Coatl is still there as its own separate entity. So it would be as effective as polymorph. So if you guys want to use, like, it would not give you any from a purely like DM perspective, I would not give you any information from using your Coatl that I wouldn't give you from polymorph. Like it won't give you any additional information.
Okay.
I will say flat out, if you get an actual creature, you will get different information.
Hear me out. If the Coatl turns into a pig, and then we get the rabbit, all we need is a donkey and a tiger.
Take an inspiration for that. I like that.
Oh, bother.
Similar issue.
Bother.
Similar issue ability. Argenta, you've talked with animals before, haven't you?
Yes, I can. Let me just make sure I'm not muted. Yes, I can talk to animals, and I can also share their senses if they're willing.
So, we get a rabbit. Argenta can talk to it. We can use that to kind of map things out.
yeah.
Well, again, Colin's idea, we probably would like a bird would be more effective. Some type. A raven, an owl, an eagle, something.
Good with anything. If I want to be perfectly honest, because I mean the Webwood's minimum of like a day and a half journey from where we are. The wood wall closer to 2. But mice, rabbits, things like that, we can find those in the kind of plains around us.
Yeah.
Some kind of prey animal. Something that has good defensive instincts, probably.
Here's my thought.
Yeah.
Always found it impressive how difficult it was to catch rabbits and mice. incredibly aware. Those hind legs on rabbits hurt. They can kick something fierce. Anyway, if you guys think it's an idea, then I'm confident I can be back here by tomorrow morning. If you don't want to go that route, we can figure something else.
Anyway,
All
I
right.
don't know about anyone else.
Shall I sharpen my trap making tools?
Rowan just looks at Colin like, this is your call.
You know what? Sure. But I don't want your entire Cub Scout group. I'll just take you. 2 eyes are better than 1. In theory. Awesome.
Colin, you listen. Sorry, Kevin. Kevin, you listen to Colin. He tells you to do something, you do. You follow his orders.
I mean, like, you guys may be, like, in a level up, but I think, like, Colin and I are about, like, and Colin just gives him one of these looks. He's like, you know what? Yeah, he's running this particular hunt, so I will defer to his judgment.
Yeah.
A good leader knows when to follow.
Yeah.
That might actually be the smartest thing you've said.
I've got other bits of wisdom.
No, you don't.
Kevin,
Save them for
Kevin,
next time.
go get prepped.
Rowan doesn't say
We're
that.
leaving in 10 minutes. Oh, I've got a lot of things to do. He wanders over. And Colin is just kind of sitting there with his head in his hands. And he just looks at Vala and then at Rowan. He's like, I fucked up, didn't I?
Welcome to the club. This is a learning experience.
I'm afraid of what I'm about to learn.
To be purely frank, I don't want anyone going out solo. I was worried 2 times you did that.
I get it. It's good advice. Surprisingly enough, as much as wolves are pack animals, werewolves aren't. I've been alone for a long time. It's kind of weird not being alone.
I get it.
I've got prep work to do. He doesn't need all of his limbs, does? No, we won't worry about that. And he wanders off.
Accidents happen in the wood.
People die at the fair. So, again, he said that he's going to be back latest by tomorrow morning. So you guys basically have the rest of the day and then a full night's rest before you have anything to do. Is there anything specifically you guys want to do? You can scout, you can make other preparations that you think would be useful.
I don't
Wait
think I
for
have
Crazy
anything.
Eyes to wake up.
Yeah, I think probably just wait for him to wake up.
Yeah.
We're going. Like Rowan just thinking out loud. Like he's saying this now that Ayu is asleep. Rowan just gonna say like we're gonna have to. This is gonna involve us going into the dream realm. This. I don't see this not happening. I don't think that falling asleep will be the issue. And I'm wondering if it's possible. We could try to have a safety system in place, but I'm also wondering that might not be effective
Well,
either.
No,
Well,
we could bring the dream realm here. Think about
how?
it. We've seen it before, Valma.
Yes, I have been experimenting.
Well,
Um,
no, I mean quite literally. We remember the first town we saved. The plane of fire was drawn here in exchange for the town.
yes. Are you
And
are you
we already have people who are supplying the conduit between here and the dream realm. We don't need their blood.
Rowan's just like going back and forth, like just the regulars are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
so
It really depends on how well you know the arcana behind what they were doing.
uh that was less arcana and more blood magic, if I remember correctly. I mean, it would be well, is the dream plane even a plane? I'm like trying to put this all together. So I know I can enter somebody's dream.
If you want to make me an Arcana check.
Okay. Um okay. 25.
Okay. So, as far as planes of existence, there is what's referred to as the ethereal plane, which is a more kind of spiritual kind of overlay that fits right on top of the prime material plane. And that's where a lot of spirits tend to go in and out of the ethereal plane. And then there's another plane called the astral plane, which is a plane of kind of psychic thought and things like that. And some like really powerful wizards have the ability to kind of bring themselves to the astral plane. But dreams in and of themselves are creations of your mind. There isn't a kind of plane of dreams that you are aware of, and even when you were in that dream fighting that demon, the closest thing you might be able to relate it as far as like planes are concerned is you could call it like a temporary demi-plane. But it was entirely inside one person's mind. Like you all went inside one person's mind. The idea of multiple unconscious people being able to share in the same dream, your understanding of arcana and things like that, that's not actually possible.
Yeah, I don't know. I've thought about using my potentially, not saying that I should do this, only that it is a possibility. Using the dream spell to enter into Esmeralda Butterworth's dream to see what any kind of information we can obtain.
I'm just gonna call it now. You're gonna get pulled into the dream.
It is also possible I could send one of you in.
We fall asleep in that city, we're gonna get pulled into the dream.
I'm not suggesting we go into the city to do this.
Oh, you think we go snatch Esmeralda and bring her back out here?
I think we can cast it from here. It would be outside the physical boundaries, and I kind of forgot once I got into the demon dream, but I can cut the spell at any time I want, in theory. I'm not saying it's the best plan. I
I
think
don't
the
know
best.
about that. We were kind of pulled into that too.
Were you pulled in? Or did you?
This this is
Well,
the exact reason In my last campaign, a wizard ran mind blank for the whole last tier of play.
Um, uh, I was in the dreams. I don't remember correctly, but didn't you guys enter the dreams of your own choice to try to save me?
Well, I kind of broke into it. I don't know how viable that is, and it felt weird.
Right. I feel like if we can map out where this is coming from, if we can find the source here in the physical world and break that, that may
Well,
be the least dangerous option.
what I will say though, I point at our sleeping friend. He looks like he's sleeping. He looks like he's dreaming. If I tried it again, I could potentially kick down the doors to his dream. However, when I was next to the rest of them, I couldn't sense that little minute feeling that they were dreaming. They
Hmm.
also didn't look like they were sleeping like him. I think they're merely unconscious. I think they're somewhere other than a dream.
I mean, there's a way to find out, but
As you say that, you guys hear very soft footsteps behind you, and you see Ayu kind of very timidly, kind of walking up to the fire and kind of looks at all of you guys. Um, is there anything to eat?
I'll give him another ration.
Thanks. And he
I
starts kind
will
of nibbling on it.
press to digitate it to give it a cinnamon flavor.
I'm sorry, who came up
Thanks.
on us?
Ayu.
Oh, he woke up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as he's eating it, he goes, I just want to apologize. I don't remember everything that happened, but I remember yelling a lot, and
You woke
You
up from a
were,
literal nightmare.
you were in a manic state. I'm not going to blame you.
Yes. You didn't stab anyone. Well, not too deeply, anyways. It's okay.
The swelling's down like Vala's.
so sorry about
It was a
that.
joke. Don't worry.
Um, where are we?
I just kind of reorient him towards the bridge where,
We're just outside Evanthorn.
yeah,
Okay. All right. And you can see, like, when you guys mention Ebenthorn, you can see him get a little bit shaken.
On the other side of the bridge, it appears to be safe because we slept here the night before.
We're not going back, are we?
You don't have to.
We may have to, not you. We don't
No,
intend for
I
that.
think that's a good idea. I think it'd be a bad idea to go back.
Do you know about the other people before you fell asleep? Do you remember other people leaving?
Um, I remember. I mean, the town was. Evanthorn was Evanthorn. And people come and go all the time. And then. One day. Let me think. Um. One day, somebody came in to the guild hall, and they were looking for Esmeralda. Esmeralda's, she's our apothecary. Um, Aside from the guild itself, she's probably one of the most important people in the city. She makes healing potions and anti-venoms, and I mean, anyone that goes out in the hunt without visiting Esmeralda first is asking to not come back. She's great. And this group came in and they asked us where our apothecary was, and we pointed them there. and they said the other one, because that shop's closed. Which has never happened. Like, Esmeralda's never missed a day in her life. I've seen her chugging down healing potions and weird concoctions that she could never convince me to drink, but were supposed to, like, clean your sinuses. There was an awful lot of horseradish in it. So we went over and the shop was closed. And that's when things start getting fuzzy. Other stuff happened, but I'm really sorry I can't remember it. At least not in the town. I remember not being in the town. I remember that really well.
So you went in to check on Esmeralda, and that's when things started getting fuzzy for you.
It's like I can remember flashes. Finding Esmeralda. I think there was a meeting. Somebody thought about bringing in someone from Meisenford. Like, they have a lot of healers up there. They thought maybe if they brought someone down, they could fix Esmeralda. And there were other things that happened, but I don't know. I can't remember.
Know anything about the people that were working? Were they outsiders? Were they local?
I don't know. We get so many outside. I mean, 70-80% of the town is outsiders. They're hunters that come from all over. They stay. Some of them are there for days. Others are for months. They don't generally stay much longer than that. To be perfectly honest, most of them don't survive much longer than that. You see a lot of parties come in real proud, and then 2 of them leave significantly less proud a month later.
Hey, Jody,
Yep.
how far outside of town are we?
Probably about,
Like,
if you've gone all the way to the other side of the bridge, you guys are probably at least a full day outside of town.
how many miles?
Somewhere between like 10 and 20 miles ish.
All right.
My understanding is roughly most parties can travel about 10 to 20 miles in a day on
Right.
on foot. So the actual, like, following the road, you guys are probably about maybe 10 miles outside of town. But because it curves and everything, you might be closer to 5 as the bird flies. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Perfectly honest, the only thing I remember is the train. Like, that's vivid.
You use that word.
Yeah, I don't know where I learned it.
Like a wedding veil
No.
Rowan takes up.
train.
Rowan has that paper he showed us. He's like, what is the train?
We were sitting, and it was kind of like, a really fancy, like, wagon. I think that's where we got the idea of train, because there's multiple like compartments connected together, like a wagon train going between cities, but they were all like enclosed. Like they all had roofs, and there was like a doorway to go to the next one, and
So like a carriage crossed with a hut that moves.
kind of. And I just remember being so afraid, like all the time. It was the only thing I felt. There wasn't, like, I mean, lived in Ebenthorn a long time. We're surrounded by monsters and stuff like that. People are constantly going out. And so, yeah, I've been afraid before. But it's never just fear. Like, there's fear and excitement and like you never just feel one thing. It's always lots of stuff. But while I was there, it was just fear.
Hmm.
It was weird.
What else do you remember being on the train?
I remember it was quiet, but it wasn't. Like, it was raining, and we knew that it was raining. We could feel the rain because it was really heavy, but we couldn't hear it. It was like it's like screaming into a pillow. Like the sound comes out, but there's something stopping it. And everyone was there, but
So you saw other people.
yeah, but they didn't. It was like they were all in their own world, you know? I mean, that's when I realized it wasn't real. So I remember looking over, and Esmeralda, she was just sitting there knitting, which isn't a weird thing. You know, she used to, she had this kid. Hold, please. So I have to find the notes here. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Years ago, like, I guess it's been 15 years now at least, Esmeralda had a kid. Her name was Sapphire. She was just the most adorable kid you'd ever meet. I mean, like, all kids are cute, but she was this little halfling girl, so she was just tiny. And I mean, even compared to her mother, I mean, Esmeralda's not large by any standard. I mean, even by halfling standards, she's not a huge imposing force. But Sapphire was just this cute little kid, and she'd run around, and Esmeralda would make almost all of her clothes. It was very rare that she'd get clothes from like the local tailor or anything. She liked to knit, things like that. And so she used to knit a lot when Sapphire was there, but 15 years ago, she just wasn't there anymore. We never found a body or anything. We never found any indication of foul play. But it You really ripped apart Esmeralda. And
Did
Sapphire was only
you
10.
did you think that was 15 years ago?
About that. So I haven't seen her knitting since then. I mean, she was still jovial-esque, but I mean, losing your kid, it changes you. She hadn't knitted a day since. But on the train, she was there, and she was knitting, and she was really happy.
Hmm.
Happy like I hadn't seen her in over a decade. And it didn't seem right. That wasn't the Esmeralda that I knew. That's when I
So-
realized that none of it was real. And as soon as I knew that, I could leave. I knew I wasn't really there, that I was just dreaming. And I just forced myself to open my eyes. And then you teleport in front of me, and that's not a great thing to do when someone's coming out of that.
Noted. I wanted to make sure we didn't lose you.
Well, that makes sense. I tried saying something to her before I left. She just... It was her, but it wasn't. Does that make sense? Like, none of this makes sense.
You mentioned you felt only fear when you were in there.
Yeah,
Esmeralda seemed happy.
yeah.
Did others seem happy or afraid?
Something else.
It was only
Are
me
you-
and Esmeralda in that compartment. And I wasn't brave enough to go too much further.
I understand.
I wish I could tell you more. It's,
You told us a lot.
weirdest thing about it is, you ever had a dream where you're doing something that makes no sense whatsoever, but in the dream it makes perfect sense, and you couldn't think of doing anything any other way, and you wake up and you go, what the hell, that doesn't make any sense. That's what it feels like, you know? It's so weird. Sorry, I wish that made more sense.
No, dreams can often be very disorientating. The fact you making as much sense as you are is helpful.
That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of being heard. I had to be quiet, because if I made any noise, I'd get in trouble and it would find me.
It would find you.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt if I made a loud noise, it would find me and it would punish me.
Hmm. Yep, sounds familiar.
And it's weird. It's like, and he goes and he picks up just like a rock off the ground. Like, if I hold this and I let it go, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, he just lets it go, that's going to happen. It's the same thing. I don't know why it happens. That's just how the world works. And that's what it was. I knew if I made a loud noise, it was going to find me and it was going to punish me. Because you're not allowed to make loud noises.
Hmm.
It's like a rule. It's just how the world works. You're not allowed to make loud noises.
Like a library.
kind of, but not really. It'd be like if you broke the rules of the library, that the world would break. Does that make sense? It's not so much that somebody told you you're not supposed to do it. It's the idea that it's not supposed to be possible. And if you do it, something bad will happen. You'll break the world. It's like letting a stone drop and making it go up. That's not how things are supposed to work. The more I talk, the more crazy this sounds.
Like many experiences, talking after you've had a bad dream often helps.
Well,
Even if it doesn't make sense.
I think I have slept enough for a lifetime now.
You got the sleep you needed, and
Yeah.
you will get more sleep that you need. And
Wow.
hopefully so will everyone else if we can help it.
Yes.
Anyway, I've been lying down for a while, and he gets really, really close to you guys and kind of brings his voice down really low. Those people wearing like the fur, are they okay?
Well,
No.
I don't believe they will intentionally harm you.
Okay, because one of
Um,
them told me that that they could help me become stronger, and that really, like, there's something involving drinking, and like it just seems like a real bad idea.
They are some very misguided young adults who call themselves the Were Slayers. And they're very misguided.
So what you're saying is, if they offer me something to drink, don't drink it.
I would advise against it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go walk around for a bit. Maybe away from where they're doing whatever in the hell they're doing, okay?
I would recommend sticking close
Don't
to
go
camp.
too far.
I'm
But
not
yeah.
going too far, but I gotta do something.
Sure, I understand.
My legs feel like I haven't used them in a month. I gotta do something.
I don't think you have.
Anyway, hope that stuff was helpful to you. And he
Yep.
wanders off.
So if we find ourselves in the dream world, we need to remember that it's fake and try to make lots of noise.
He was asleep for a very long time.
Yes. Also-
I would hazard guess easier said than done. It can be done, however. He is proof of that.
Well, and we know going into it. So hopefully we can remember. It also sounds like this all started at Esmeralda's shop.
Yes, I was thinking of that as well. It sits across from the guild hall, so that shouldn't be too hard for us to find. And if she's the expert, Ayu seems to think that she is, and everyone seems to think she is, if we're going by his information. Waking her up could also be a good key.
Yes. I'm also wondering what Sapphire has to do with all of this. If maybe she's the key.
I am concerned about one thing, just to say out loud. His memory went fuzzy after he went into the shop.
Yes.
Perhaps she was messing with something. Perhaps one of the generals showed up and did something.
It's
But
the general.
Is it possible sleeping single?
an agent of or something. I was thinking.
Yeah.
But walking into an area and then suddenly your memory goes fuzzy and she's an apothecary, perhaps she was the fumes of something gone awry. I know, for example, there's quite a few teas and herbs and such that can help you sleep. But perhaps if she was working on something that went more along the lines of the apothecarial potion route. And an accident or sabotage. This is a city known for hunters. I could imagine this being a problem for people wanting to keep other people down.
Hmm. Well, when Colin gets back and we have our proverbial canary, I'd be interested to see what it thinks of the apothecary's shop.
Well, that could be the mapping side. We could also, if there's other things we could do besides the mapping thing as well. I think the one thing to do is just simply get back outside of town before anyone falls asleep. So I would imagine maybe I should probably see what I can't drum up on the herbal side of things that could possibly, if we suddenly need to stay away for a little while longer.
Oddly enough, I used to work for an Esmeralda, and at the bar they would sell these crimson cows. Great for keeping you partying throughout the night.
Not really familiar with potions. I know it just hit Jody.
Yep.
That was bad.
That was like a delayed blast fireball, huh?
That was psychic damage worthy. Holy shit.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm about to take inspiration away. That was so bad. Wow. Anyway.
Yeah, it's more on the potion side of things. I could see. I mean, there's more than a few things I could take. Or two.
I mean, if
The
you
herbalism
want to
side of
roll,
things.
if you want to roll like a nature check,
I know before because I have my proficiency with herbalism kit.
yeah, you can roll with
So that we-
advantage.
Yep.
And your your background being the healer of your village would give you some insight to this as well. So
Okay, so am I rolling nature or because I know if I was my herbalism proficiency, that would make it +10, or am I using just nature?
you can use herbalism. Herbalism
Okay.
isn't a skill though.
Well, but as I'm proficiency with the kit,
Does it
And
not?
so-
Oh, so you're just not proficient in nature. I'm assuming then.
not proficient in nature. No.
Then yeah, go ahead and roll with proficiency then.
Okay. That
So
puts
like
me
they
at a 10.
use the same skill, don't they? Or the same attribute. But no, it's fine.
Kind of, sort of, but there's there was the expanded stuff they talked
Yep,
about.
I understand.
17 on the advantage, so that would be 27
Okay.
with the proficiency.
So you yourself have administered a few different herbs that have been made into teas and other kind of draughts that help induce sleep. You're also familiar with certain plants that act as stimulants that will allow people to stave off sleeping for short periods of the time. you've heard of people kind of abusing them to stay awake for days at a time, but exhaustion will hit no matter how many stimulants you take. So you know that staying awake for too long is dangerous. With the 27, you've also heard of specifically certain types of mushrooms and fungus that some less scrupulous people claim allows you to control your dreams. Like they act, or they have like a sedative effect, but they also have kind of mild psychedelic properties. And so people claim that if you ingest these or ingest something that has them in them,
Lucid
that-
dreaming.
effectively, yeah. And with a 27, you know enough that were you to find these mushrooms, you would recognize them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Would be
Or anything made with them. Like, they have a very particular scent.
Do I know where I can find them, or
They used to grow. You never saw where they grew because they just weren't something that you were ever interested in. But you were told they generally tended to grow deep in the woods where it was very, very dangerous around Meisenford. This is where my lack of understanding of psychedelic mushrooms comes in. I actually don't know where they grow or even what they look like. So
but these are MacGuffin. These are MacGuffin mushrooms.
In my world, they tend to be brightly colored. Not like fluorescent or anything like that, but your standard mushrooms, whites, browns, blacks, earth tones. These would be sometimes greens or blues. And the colors themselves tended to not be solid. Like your button mushrooms, they're white all over with little bits of black flesh underneath the caps. It's your standard, button mushroom. These, like, the colors would kind of shift throughout the plants. You'd have almost like a tie-dye look to them. Nobody come for me. I don't know anything about psychedelic mushrooms.
Also, hot take: don't come to a D&D game looking for
Like,
medical
for,
advice.
for fungus advice. Like, I can cook with them. Also, fun fact, like big, like the big, like, portobello mushrooms and stuff like that are just small mushrooms that they let grow real big.
Yeah.
It's the same damn fungus. I like mushrooms. I think they're tasty when they're cooked correctly.
Oh yeah, cook them in butter, put them on a steak.
Really, anything cooked in butter tastes good, but
Yeah.
The compliment will.
Yo, dog, I heard you like butter, so I cooked your butter in butter.
I was watching
Look, you go to a county fair, you can have fried butter.
in Wisconsin. We pioneered it. We've fried just about everything here.
Yeah.
I don't know how you people are still alive, but okay.
We are a hardy people. We don't know how we're still alive either. We invented things like beer cheese soup.
I mean, most people we are kind of proof that we really shouldn't be alive. We figured out how to fry Coke.
It's tasty. If I remember correctly, I can't remember if it was fried Snickers that actually originated at the Wisconsin State Fair.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
know
we had
that
something like that originated here.
the fried Mars bar is Scottish,
We also
which pisses off Ramsey.
the thing that people come from other states to the Wisconsin State Fair for are what we call cream puffs, which is quite literally just a croissant, effectively, very airy pastry that they chop in half and they fill with whipped cream and cover in powdered sugar. They are delightful. But there is not a single piece of nutrition in any aspect. And they're this big. They're these massive things, and they're wonderful.
So, brightly colored mushrooms.
Yeah, so back to that. Brightly colored
Green,
mushrooms.
blue, shifting colors.
Tie-dye mushrooms. So,
Vala.
What? Why do you assume that the bard knows about psychedelic mushrooms? I mean, she probably does, but that's beside the point.
it's just kind of insulting that you just assumed.
My passive insight is also very high.
You have a history with mushrooms, so
You get infected with one batch of mushrooms.
How about you don't confess and let me ask the question? And that way you can ask yourself if you need to take the Fifth Amendment.
Yes?
I was wanting to actually ask you, like, given enough time through the night, like checking in with Colin. He's going to the woods.
By the way, Colin, can you...
On the way, keep an eye out. Don't let Kevin eat these mushrooms.
He unfortunately left before you guys even had the conversation with.
No, I understand. Vala
I
has
can
message.
Oh,
I can use sending.
okay.
I can describe it. Like, first off, I'm gonna just tell you, this is how I'm describing the mushroom. It'll be about various sizes. It doesn't get very bigger, more than this, but it'll be blues and greens shifting. It will not be a solid color. The cap, the stalk, how it's usually like, whether it's a circle, whether it's like the anachronistic whoop, and whether it's like a Smurf or not, and like describing that kind of thing. If they're like, if they tend to be clumped or not, usually found tree, ground, that kind of thing. And like he'll break it down in the briefest of summation, so that way you don't have to he understands you have a limitation.
As you're describing this, I'm also... Fala in her head is like, oh, that explains why that tea had that one psychedelic swirly color pattern on top of it. Oh, yeah. Beginning to make more sense now.
That's why I giggled for 8 hours.
So, okay. I will use my sending to reach out to Colin. And
One
recap.
checking in.
Hey, just want to make sure you're okay. Here's a very brief description of some mushrooms that we're looking for. And, okay, that sending ran out. Now I'm going to wait 30 seconds and then do a second sending.
Are you gonna wait for a reply for the first one?
Yeah, I'll give him like 30 seconds to reply.
So in that 30 seconds, you get nothing for like a little bit, and then you realize like these are toxic, right? Like you're not supposed to eat these.
I trust.
If you
Relevant.
relay this, if you realize it's like medicinally, do not let Kevin eat these.
Yeah. I trust Relwyn. Also, Kevin, I feel like also knows what these mushrooms should look like. But again, don't let him eat them.
No, I'm gonna like they've been screwing around with blood. They haven't been fucking around with mushrooms. You fuck around with mushrooms, it only takes one mistake.
if you read
After your
the
second
note
message, he
that
goes,
happened,
okay.
They should be fine to touch, just don't imbibe, just don't eat, the kind of thing.
I'll keep an eye out, but you guys are worrying me.
Okay, he used to be a werewolf.
So, anything else you guys want to do before you lie down for the night?
Um,
Yeah, we'll just basically be taking watches because your friend is still out there somewhere, and he dragged off a dead compatriot. I have to believe there's an intent to, I don't know, bring back, reanimate it. Like that's not beyond the realm. Like Rowan 100% has seen these things just being in this group.
yes. I can also tiny hut us.
Well, not everyone. There's a lot of other people as well.
We've got a lot of us, but at least some of us can fit in here.
You do have 190 left.
I have a number of tents.
I would point out, like our friend that we keep alluding to, he also really hates them.
Yeah, but if you stack the tents up like sandbags, like you got
Yeah.
out of 190, you have to have some anti-werewolf tents.
No, we just no, I've done this a couple of times before. You just put up like a 5x5 grid of tents, and then half of them are filled with explosives. And so they don't know which tents to go in first. And when one of them eventually blows up, it wakes everybody up.
They have a nifty spell called Alarm that has a similar effect without explosions.
Yeah.
Why?
Now you
would
know why I don't
ever
use
do
it.
that?
A spell that doesn't involve fire? I don't.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do before setting up a watch and everything? Cool.
I think it'll be a couple of things. Like I probably would like do my best, like maybe on the off chance prepping some of those stimulants.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Stimulants and stuff like that would be stuff that you would probably, if you're trained in herbalism, you would probably have at least one version of them with you because there's a lot of different
Yeah.
situations where a stimulant is useful. Psychedelics is not something you would keep.
Oh,
with
sure.
you. But so yeah, let's say roll me an herbalism check.
So with that would be 19.
19. Cool. So you're able to make effectively 2 doses of a pretty powerful stimulant to the point where it will keep you up a full 24 hours. And when applied to someone that is unconscious through any means other than like a magic spell, any natural type of sleep will wake them up nearly instantaneously. Call it wake up juice. So,
And knowing that like there's such things as like a magical sleep spells,
mhm.
and obviously this is something obviously far stronger than a typical sleep spell. Is there a chance that a person could be woken up from this?
Magic is magic. Unless you have a potion specifically designed to dispel magic, which isn't a really common potion effect. Potions have no effect on magical sleep. It has to be dealt with using magic.
Okay.
And you wouldn't have any herbs just on hand that have magic dispelling properties. They're extremely rare. And I would actually go far enough to say that at least in Cruciatalia, it's not something that you're aware of. That would have been something specifically the Dark Lord would have left out of his creation.
And any other options for if it is a magical induction of sleep? there's a chance dispel magic could work.
Theoretically, you guys haven't tried it yet, so if you want to try that, you can.
I was gonna say, I believe at least 2 of us are immune to magic sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you take our blood and turn that into a potion, we could have the Wereslayers do that.
You've pissed him off enough. He's not going to make chocolate chip pancakes.
Let them do that to you?
No bacon for you tomorrow.
My God.
It's a fate worse than death, not the bacon. Right, so, AU actually takes a couple shifts as part of the watch because he literally can't sleep right now. And the rest of you guys, your watch is uneventful. The third watch of the night is when Colin and Kevin come back. They do have some of the mushrooms that you requested. You're actually kind of impressed. They got the exact mushrooms that you were thinking of.
This is it exactly.
In addition to that, Kevin has brought a collection of other mushrooms that he said give more mild rides.
Give them all to me now.
Oh, you don't want to take all of them at the same time, man. That will mess you up.
Kevin,
All right, dude. I'm just
eat
saying.
the mushrooms.
It's in your best interest. Pace it out like this, and he has like maybe like a handful and a half of various mushrooms. He goes, this much mushrooms. You're looking at like.
Relwyn's eyes start shifting into that indigo, start leaking upward effect from his thaumaturgy.
Okay, yeah, dude. We'll just remember this is like a whole like Burning Man. All right, this is not a one night deal.
Do I get a sense that he actually knows what he's talking about with these mushrooms?
You think this is one of the few things that you might actually trust his opinion on? Maybe not anything involving the proper use of them, but using them to distort your own perception of reality. You think Kevin is very, very...
Kevin has done harm to himself. That's a big piece of the puzzle. And this puzzle only has 4 pieces.
So, morning crests the horizon.
But they return with an animal?
Oh yeah, he's got a rabbit. He's got a little bunny. The bunny is not happy to be in a cage. Like the rest of the night, because there's still about like 4 hours of sleep. Every like 10 or 15 minutes, the rabbit starts thumping. Fun fact for anyone that doesn't know: when rabbits are mad, they thump, and it's impressive how loud the thumping is.
They will also scream.
They can
up.
too. They generally only do that when they're in active danger. When they're just mad, they thump.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's thumping that happens for the rest of the night. But yeah, when you guys, dawn crest over the horizon, Rowan, due to the fact that you needed to sleep and everything like that, you weren't able to try and really do anything with the mushrooms.
Oh no, so we
until
had
the
them.
morning.
Yeah.
If you would like to try and create some draughts, this is not a potion that you have ever created before, and you do know that when treated incorrectly, the mushrooms are toxic. Like they
Sure.
they're actually they can actually create neurotoxins out of them, which are real bad. they kill your nervous system, make your muscles stop working. It's great. So if you'd like to try and make enough draughts for the party, you think because of how these particular mushrooms work, that even creatures that are immune or don't technically need to sleep, this will still induce
Because
a
fun
sleep
fact,
and a dream
it
state.
specifies magical sleep. This is natural sleep.
Yeah. Well, like elves
Yeah.
and things like that, they don't technically sleep; they trance. But this particular draught will cause
Yeah.
sleep and specifically lucid dreaming if you make it correctly.
I've seen plenty of games where like, I'm immune to sleep. You're immune to magical sleep.
So, what I'm going to need from you is a flat herbalism kit check.
Okay.
Vala will lo-fi sand.
So you've got. I'm assuming you're inspiring him.
Yes.
So you've got
Which, by the way, there is a lo-fi Darude sandstorm.
really.
Yes.
It's not. I there's a lot of ways I would describe that particular song. Lo-fi is not anywhere near it. So add a D10 if you would like.
Oh, okay. Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
you have
yep.
you have a D10 inspiration.
Sure. Higher number we get, I'm happy to go for that. D10. Okay. Got a 15 on the die already.
I got a 400.
Okay. 15 for 19. 19 plus 10, 29.
Okay. So, having never made this potion before, you are not 100% confident. But you've got 4 doses that you think are going to work pretty well. And you're relatively certain with a 29, you're relatively certain that if you did make any errors in it, the problem is going to be you're not going to sleep, not that you're not going to wake up. So you've erred on the side of safety versus neurotoxin.
Well, I'll just say lucid mushroom juice.
Lucid mushroom juice. Drink mushroom juice. It'll quench you.
Okay,
It's
well,
the quenchiest.
good news, I was able to make this. Bad news, I have 4 out of 5.
Hey.
That's 4 of us, so.
Well, I don't know if my more primal side would allow me to go with you, but if you guys are going to be unconscious,
You
and are
better to
going
have
be
someone
dealing
out
with
here.
Someone, I'd prefer to have someone looking over you guys. So, it's all the same to you. I'm gonna stay out.
I
Take
I appreciate that.
take heroic inspiration, Lillian. That was great. You guys didn't see this. We have our own private chat to where Lillian said, "Lucid mushroom juice is the name of my Grateful Dead cover band," and that is chef's kiss.
Just on the off chance, Rowan will also go. He will give one of the doses of the stimulant to Colin. It's like, use this responsibly on either us or, if need be, something bad might be like trying to make someone fall asleep.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
All right. So, what's the plan? We have a bunny. We can
Yeah, let's,
head into town, do some mapping, and then possibly some napping.
Yeah, if one of you guys can get talkative, we can probably get this mapping thing done in, I don't know, an hour-ish? Maybe 2? I mean, Ebenthord's a decent-sized place, but... Yeah. You guys ready? AU comes over. If it's all the same to you guys, I think I'm gonna hold down the fort here.
Yes, understandable.
Understandable.
Knowing the kind of dangers that lurk in the wilds, the were slayers shall stay here to hold the fort as well. And Colin kind of looks over. My thoughts exactly.
All you have to do is just maintain the camp and stay close to one another, protect one another. No one runs off. That's it.
Absolutely. You know, being a wereslayer for as long as I have been, I am very good at keeping my pack alive. And you, and he kind of puts his shoulder on AU, you are now an honorary wereslayer. And AU looks at you guys with this
Relwyn
kind of look
gets
of
in
help.
Relwyn gets in Kevin's face. Like, he's really, literally like almost nose to nose. If I hear that anyone else, or you offer AU that fucking blood concoction,
Oh, no, dude. Totally done with that. All right? We realize it's not as effective
or
as we
anything
thought.
else,
No, I'm just saying I'll protect him like he's one of my own. That's all I'm saying.
trust-
That better be it.
Absolutely. Listen,
Relwyn slowly backs away.
I learned my lesson, man.
I would submit you haven't, because after the fight, you were ready to hang it up, realizing how bad you all fucked up. And now you seem to be back on the Slayer train, and Rowan's like trying to keep his shit in check. He's like,
You
Wait.
know, failure is just a chance to learn.
God, he's making sense again.
They're learning our ways. Quickly! Before they become us!
yeah, he's out of line, but he's got a point.
God, I think, Kevin, trusting you.
I am very pleased with the trust that you have placed in my care. I will raise it as one of my own. And when you come back, I will show you that your trust has not been misplaced.
Okay.
So, speed things up, just because it's getting real late.
Yep.
You guys are able to effectively map, as far as you can tell, the kind of center of this effect seems to be the guild hall, and it goes. The effect itself seems to go out to about a mile and a half outside of town, depending on where you're measuring it. So once you get beyond about a mile and a half, 2 hours, you think you're as safe as can be from the effect of this thing right now. You don't really have enough time to see if it's growing or moving or anything. But as of right now, you think mile and a half outside of town, you're safe.
Do we want to check out the apothecary shop real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So heading over there, the shop itself is locked. And the shop itself is the front of the shop is a shop, and the back half is a residence. So if you guys would like to get in, all points of entry seem to be locked at this particular point in time.
Can we try picking the lock?
Sure. Go ahead and make me a thieves tools check.
You think they locked the shop back up? Because they said they went into the shop.
If one is not proficient with thieves' tools,
You
I am though, so
Yeah, in order to pick a lock, you have to have proficiency in thieves' tools.
yeah.
You can break a lock without it, but actually picking it, you have to have proficiency. So,
But,
Lilian, if you'd like to, go for it.
yeah, but that with me.
Yep.
I feel like that's the one rogue element Vala is missing. Well, that sneak attack.
You have
Substitute
enough
that with arson.
nonsense. You don't need sneak attack.
That would be 22.
Yeah, kind of a basic lock. It's better than some,
Basic ass lock. Basic
but
bitch lock.
it was not difficult to get in. Like this was never meant to be at a very secure
Yeah.
area. Just kind of meant to discourage people from going through her stuff. As you guys go in, you notice quite a few different variations of mushrooms, some of which are very similar to the ones that Kevin mentioned are real good for a nice trip, man.
Were they mushrooms similar to what Rowan also was?
You found a few of them there. You also find indication, like you find burnt residue that someone was smoking the mushrooms as opposed to just ingesting them. And then you do find various potions, and you actually find a few doses of a concoction relatively similar to the one that you created to induce lucid dreaming. So you think your version is slightly more tailored to the people you made it for, but
Mine also clearly like herbalism versus alchemy.
yeah. So you think if you were to spend enough time in here, or if you ever get a chance to talk to her, you think there's probably a pretty good chance that you two would have a lot to talk about.
Well, she was definitely experimenting.
Hmm.
As you guys are sitting in here, you suddenly see Colin start kind of coughing and sneezing. I'm gonna wait outside. It is thick in here.
It is pungent.
Yeah, and he wanders out the door.
Notes.
Yes. We searched for notes on what she
Yeah.
was working on.
Sure. Make me an investigation check. Whoever wants to make it can make it with advantage because everybody's helping.
Okay.
I'll help them.
So with the advantage, I got a 20.
20. Cool. So as you guys are going through, you find with a 20, you find a lot of notes on how she makes a lot of the different potions that she does make. The more rare potions, the notes are encoded. So with enough time, you might be able to break the code, but right now it's mostly kind of gobbledygook. You also, do you just check the shop? Do you check the house behind?
I think I would want to look at that in the house behind as well.
So with a 20 in the house behind, you do eventually find a collection of notebooks, and doing in the brief amount of time you have during the search, kind of going through them, you can see that she's been journaling off and on since right around 15 years ago. Spending more time with them would give you a better idea of what's going on, but you just simply don't have the time here because there's you probably found,
15 years worth of journaling.
yeah,
Yeah.
like each journal is maybe a year and a half. So you probably have like 12, 13 different journals that are there.
I would probably, well, first to be clear, as soon as I found those notes on the herbology
Mm-hmm.
or the alchemy, I handed those off to Relwyn
Mm-hmm.
and then went back. I would probably leaf through kind of the last month or so of notes and see
Okay.
if there's anything big that happened there.
How long do you want to spend? Because that will dictate how much information you get.
Guys, do you think 30 minutes to go through this? Yeah, 30
Because
minutes.
why not?
Yeah.
So, while Vala is going through journals, do you guys want to do anything else in that the 30 minutes?
Oh, Lilliane? Psychometry?
Yeah.
Something knocked Esmeralda out. Wonder if it was intentional or not.
Yeah, do it either. Maybe stop in general.
Yeah. We'll come back to that. So
Did you have the internal? God damn it, imp!
it's a good idea. I just haven't quite figured out what you're going to find out yet. So we're going to talk about the journals first. Give me time to plan.
Maybe
So-
next session.
Kind of working your way backwards from the journals. The very beginning, the journals are basically describing the heartbreak and everything of, especially since, again, it wasn't a death, she just went missing. And they never found a body, they never found any indication of anything. And so kind of dealing with that loss and that uncertainty, and the journals themselves will kind of fluctuate on their content. And again, you're going through them pretty quick. But as you get to a few of the last ones, one of the kind of common themes is she would say things like, wow, I thought about her today, and have a whole kind of journal entry on that and what it made her feel being 15 years removed from it. Then another one, I had a dream about her. It was almost like she was here. She hadn't changed a day. And as you get closer to the end, the final journal, the final entry ends mid-sentence. And the entry itself feels very different than the rest of them. The rest of them, she like, oh, dreamt about her today, talking in the past tense. This one in particular is going, you know what? I'm really excited for her birthday. I've got this wonderful jumper that I've made for her. I think she's really, really going to, and that's where it ends.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I will go down to the others and relay. She kept in more of the recent entries talking about seeing her in her dreams, and then in the very last one mentioned giving her a jumper for her birthday.
Looking over her shoulder, just like she's talking like she's
I mean, she's actually
Like s-
back.
like someone, like a parent visiting a child,
Yeah.
visiting their child.
Maybe she was trying to. Maybe she was doing something to try to bring herself into that dream state
Yeah.
more powerfully
Yeah.
and unleashed something or invited something in.
As I say, maybe someone answered.
That would explain why she was happy and was knitting. I'm going to go back and look and see if I can find the jumper.
Looking around, you don't even find knitting supplies. Like you find a pair of knitting needles that hasn't been touched in a really long time. Like they have
She was dreaming about knitting.
Yeah. I buy that explanation.
This is maybe it's the source, maybe it's the origin.
And weird. Yep.
Whatever it was, this is definitely the opportunity it took advantage of.
Yeah. Or like a demon that was coaxing her to do this, or some other entity that was like trying to guide her to create this, and is then use that to unleash this upon the town.
She was definitely making more and more. She's like Rowan's now looking at it as signs of she was making the potion. She was clearly imbibing through other means. I think she was hiding in her solace.
Yeah.
as you guys are sitting there, you suddenly start feeling kind of strange. I'd like everyone to make me charisma saving throws.
Charisma. Oh, I'm proficient in that.
Is this versus
you're-
a charm effect? Out of curiosity.
It's not a charm effect. It is a sleep effect, but it is not magical sleep.
Rolling 15s. Okay. So that's 23.
Okay, cool. Lillian,
15.
cool. Vala,
30.
all right. Argenta,
Yeah, charisma.
I forget what. If half. Dude, is it just I'm immune to magical sleep, right?
yeah, you still have to
Yeah.
make this.
I
I'll
forget.
say if you're immune to magical sleep, roll it with advantage. But this is
Okay.
technically not magic. This is an innate ability of something.
Add 9.
9. So as you guys are having this conversation, you look over at Argenta, and Argenta's head's starting to kind of droop. And before you guys can get to her, Argenta's very heavy, muscly body smacks the ground. And Argenta is out like a light. The rest of you all, like, involuntarily yawn, and you start kind of blinking your eyes, but you're able to kind of shake it off.
Get her outside. Get her outside.
Yeah.
Get her outside.
Vala will go over and start.
Go ahead and make me an athletics check, because Argenta's very big.
Can I help?
Sure.
So-
Between the two of you, since if I remember correctly, Lillian, you're a strong girl.
Yeah, 93.
Okay.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. So between the two of you, you guys are able to kind of drag her out into the street. It hasn't seemed to affect her state, though. She's still unconscious.
Well, first off, Rowan's gonna be like, he's gonna.
Yeah, nothing you do seems to affect her in the
Very
slightest.
so.
Yeah, like smelling salts, nothing. Like taking a pen under her, like rolling. It's a thing I've seen doctors do where they just like do this with a pen because it hurts a lot, but doesn't cause any real damage. Nothing. She is
What
just
if
out.
we got a
Rowan is doing Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Rowan's doing Pulp Fiction, and he's got the second dose of the stimulant, and
Okay.
he's just gonna like. I'm presuming it's more along the lines of like a tab or something. Just like, oh,
Yeah, you can.
It-
You can still get her to ingest things.
Not a needle that long straight to the heart.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
a marker, a Pulp pen.
No EpiPens. It has. You watch as she ingests it. You watch her skin flushes, and you watch as her breathing gets. Not only does it get deeper, but it gets faster. And you can actually, like, for a little bit, you could actually see her pulse in her neck, but she's not waking up.
Well, balls.
What do you guys want to do?
He's like, well, she fell asleep. Rowan's gonna he's gonna do third level dispel magic.
Okay. As you sit there and try and kind of focus this dispel magic, effectively the way dispel magic works is it cancels active spells. There aren't any active spells on her to cancel. So as you try to cast it, it's very similar to trying to cast like scrying on a target that doesn't exist. There's nothing for it to do.
Hmm.
Okay, so nothing happens. Sorry, the spell doesn't go off.
This spell doesn't work. So you don't waste the spell slot or anything.
Okay.
There's no target for it.
That seems like that seems like kind of an odd situation though. If it's do I roll insight on that? Because like the mundane side didn't work, but the magical side didn't work.
Uh,
Or should I say the spell magic didn't work.
yeah, I mean, the way I'm treating dispel magic is I don't want you to waste a spell slot.
No, sure, no, I understand, but like, no, I mean, but insight, like, you know, if the
to
mundane
figure
didn't
out
work,
why it's right? Sure.
Yeah, yeah,
go
yeah.
go ahead and roll an insight check for me. That makes sense. Yeah, the reason you're not burning a spell slot is you're going to need
if, like,
them.
you see, like, he was about to, and nothing happened, and like, he's like, why isn't this working? Why is this not working? Why is this not working? Okay, I guess I'm rolling. I guess. 19.
19. Okay. As far as you understand, one of those should have done something.
Yeah.
And so as you're sitting here trying to figure out what's going on, you are aware of some creatures that have abilities that mimic magic but aren't. They're just kind of innately part of the creature's makeup. And because of that, they don't interact with dispel magic type things very well. And they also, unless a solution is designed specifically to combat that particular creature, other more mundane things don't tend to work as well. So what you kind of get is whatever is doing this to her has some kind of innate ability beyond something. Like, this isn't something that could be learned or taught. This has to be something innate of whatever this creature is that gives it the ability to induce a sleep-like state that isn't technically sleep. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So whatever this is, it's not an extremely powerful magic user or anything like that. This is some kind of creature that has an ability you've never seen before.
Okay.
I am going to risk it. Because what's the worst that could happen? I'm going to use a third level spell and cast Sending
Okay.
to send a message to Argenta
Mm-hmm.
that says, "You are Argenta. Do not forget that. No matter what happens, you are Argenta. Wake the fuck up."
So, Argenta, can feel this kind of rhythmic tapping beneath you. Pa-dum, pa-dum. Pa-dum, pa-dum. Pa-dum, pa-dum. Can't really see anything quite yet. Your eyes are kind of adjusting. But beneath your feet, pa-dum, pa-dum. Pa-dum, pa-dum. Pa-dum, pa-dum. However, as much as you can feel it, you don't hear anything, which doesn't feel right. You've been on fast-moving wagons and things like that. There should be a sound, but there isn't. As your eyes start to adjust, you're in a strange, oblong chamber, just barely wide enough for the seats that line either side, with a small aisle in the middle. And as you're sitting there, you realize that you're late. And it's not your fault. Like, you told them they needed to get going. You've offered to help. No one seems to know what the hell they're doing. The incompetence here is remarkable. Like, part of you wonders if they are actively trying to piss you off, because every single person you've interacted with has been rude and has done the exact wrong thing. And through no fault of your own, not only are you late, but there's a good chance you are going to miss the meeting that you have to be at. And you are just filled with rage. You are seeing red everywhere. And as you are sitting here just seeing red and waiting for the next moron to come up and say, very sorry, madam. Unfortunately, there's been a slight delay and we're going to be a little bit later than expected, which you've heard 100 times now. You hear in the back of your mind, you are Argenta, don't forget that. Which pisses you off even more, because how could you forget that you're Argenta? What would you like to do?
So I'm late. I'm on this thing. People keep telling me that if there's gonna be a delay.
Mm-hmm. And it's pissing you off. Like, you've been in the middle of a battle rage and not been this upset.
I'm gonna go look for the conductor.
As you look around, you don't really know why, but you know you're not supposed to leave your seat. If you leave your seat, you're going to be even later. So as you start looking around, you start realizing they're actively avoiding me now. Because they were coming in every like 10-15 minutes to kind of keep you up, and now they're not even showing up, and that gets you even more angry. What would you like to do?
So I'm not supposed to get out of my seat, is that what you said?
As far as you're aware, if you get out of your seat, it's just going to make you more late.
Perhaps I shouldn't have been the one to fall asleep.
As you're sitting there, you again hear in the back of your mind, you are Argenta, don't forget that. And for some odd reason, you feel like you can respond. What would you like to say to this person that is telling you the most stupid phrase you could possibly say. At this point, this is like you're in line at the bank and they just keep saying, hey, calm down, all right? Sir or ma'am, I need you to calm down. Just calm down, ma'am. Ma'am, calm down.
So I just respond with, because I'm assuming in a dream this makes sense. I'm on this damn train. They say I'm going to be late. Of course I'm Argenta. Are you with the train company? That's 25 words.
Okay? So, that's what you get back from Argenta. And she sounds pissed. Like you've seen Argenta in a rage. You've never seen her this mad.
I'll just be like, oh, fuck. I've never seen her this angry. And I don't know if it was directed at me or not. I'm a little frightened. Now I understand the fear.
So she was responding angry,
Yes, there was
furious.
this. Yes. More than I've ever seen her.
Esmeralda was happy. Ayu was scared out of his mind. Argenta's getting ramped up. This seems to be an emotional feed of specific types.
Yes. I fear what our emotions will be. Because it does seem to play into our unique personalities.
I'm all over the place right now. I don't know what that would be.
My, it's a mirror that I don't want raised to myself. She asked if I was part of the train company. She said she was Argenta. She knew that. So she knew who she was. I could try maybe sending her another message to try to convince her about some the aspect of herself that maybe something like not only is rage or anger core part of who she is, she's also got control over it. It doesn't rule her. Maybe saying something like that might help snap her out of this. But
No, sorry, so I'll have to write the rest down for a direct quote. She said she'll be late.
she said that she was going to be late, but I don't know for what.
If she wants to get there on time, wake up. She has to wake up if she's going to make the meeting. Unless you know something very jarring, you could tell Argenta. That would also, you know her better than I would.
I will use another spell.
Okay.
Argenta. Rage is not becoming of you. If you don't want to be late, step off the train and we'll help you get there on time.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage.
Ooh.
And I need another charisma save from Argenta.
23.
23. Cool.
22.
All right. Argenta. This is completely unacceptable. They're wasting your time. They're now avoiding you. Like, do they even know who you are? You can't be treated this way. You are Argenta the Barbarian. No one treats you this way. You can't believe that they are such little weakling, pathetic employees. They are actively stopping you from what you want. And as you're going through this and just getting, you can hear your pulse in your ears, and your breathing is going faster and faster. You can feel your face flushing. And suddenly you hear the message that Vala said that I can't remember word for word. And as you hear that, at first it doesn't make sense to you. And then you go, why would Vala be saying that to me? It's really, really weird. And where is Vala? And as you look around, you realize that this isn't real. This is a dream. And you think, if you want, you can choose to wake up, or you can stay. What would you like to do?
I'll choose to wake up.
Okay. And this time, Vala, you don't get a reply back, but you have to kind of dodge out of the way because Argenta sits up. And Argenta, as soon as you are fully awake, you are wired. You have no idea what has happened, but you just
You got a
drank,
marker on your chest.
you just drank something that has given you a ton of energy.
Oh, fuck. I was on a train. I was headed to a convention for Conan? What the fuck is Conan the Barbarian? But anyway, I thought myself as Argenta the Barbarian, and apparently I was on a related series anyway. No, we're gonna skip over all that. The dream was fucking stupid. It was stupid.
Sweet Jesus.
There are all these stupid people on the train. A train is a vehicle, by the way. It kind of goes over these rails and it bumps every time it hits a rail. I don't understand how people find that curious or comfortable, I mean, or how they can fall asleep on there. But they just kept me in the seat the whole time, and I was so mad.
I can't give her anything else right now. she, I can't risk that.
Calm down. You're awake. You're again.
I could have chosen to stay in the dream. Maybe I could have found the others on other carts, but I didn't want to risk that.
That's probably for the best.
Argenta, just, I know it sounds cliche, just breathe right now. You need to just breathe right now.
Oh, this was interesting. I'm glad that worked. And yeah, what did you see anybody else there? You mentioned that they were avoiding you.
No, there were other employees on the train. I don't think they're real people. I think they were just part of the dream.
Hmm.
As Argenta is talking, you guys start noticing this slight bit of red beneath her nose. And Argenta, you feel this kind of tickle on your lip. And you kind of check. Your nose is bleeding. And you take... Where's my thingy? 2 points of psychic damage.
Yes, the eldritch price for now understanding what a train is.
I know too much.
So,
Does Rowan assessing her, can he tell if that's from the concoction that's swirling inside her, or if that's a reaction from coming out?
You don't think it's actually a reaction from coming out. You think it happened while she was in the dream, and it just took a little bit of time to actually come out, because Argenta wasn't out for that long. We're talking a few minutes. But it's in line with the damage that the other unconscious people took, where they had like nosebleeds and eye bleeds and ear bleeds. So yeah, your best guess, as soon as she got in there, something happened that caused her to take some psychic damage, and it just didn't show up until she came out.
So Argenta, all you felt was anger.
Well, I just kept getting angrier and angrier, and every time it started to go away, they would say something that would make me angry again.
Hmm.
As you think back, you can't remember what a single employee looked like. Like, you can't picture any of their faces, you can't picture what they were wearing, but you're relatively certain they kept telling you that the train was going to be delayed.
Was there anyone else in your what do they call it? Car?
I think I was the only one, right, Jody? Other than the employees.
Roll me a perception check.
22.
22. As you think back, the moment before you chose to wake up, you remember seeing someone on the opposite side. You could see a form, their back was to you, but you could hear this rhythmic clicking. Tick, 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 tick. Like metal, very small metal tapping on metal.
Hmm.
So there was someone next to me, and I remember metal tapping on metal.
Someone really far ahead of you on the opposite side of the car.
Okay. No, there was another person, but they were kind of ahead of me, and I was too upset to get a good look on at them. But I remember hearing metal tapping on metal again and again.
Like knitting?
Maybe.
I wonder if she's in every car. Or if you're just got filled the last vacancy. We'll have to do an experiment. Two of us need to go in there, fall asleep, and then see if she's in both cars.
I mean, the only reason I remembered anything was because of the second message you sent.
I understand why. I understand the smart decision, but I think in this case, dividing us up,
I I know.
I think we might all have to go in. I think that's what we were preparing for in the first place. Normally, I would want someone else to be here on the outside, but we kind of, Colin needs to be with them.
How are we supposed to be aware? The moment I slipped into the dream, everything just made sense.
Well, I think the idea is that if we take um Relwyn's concoctions, uh, we will hopefully have some control over what's going on.
Really?
We're going to go back to the camp. This needs to run through your system. And listen, I cannot give her anything else. I don't know what will happen if I give her the mushroom juice.
I mean, I could get rid of this with a spell, to be fair.
To be fair,
To be fair,
I mean, I have lesser restoration too if we're treating this like a poison.
I mean, yeah, if you guys want to lesser restore the effects of this stimulant out of her, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'll just lesser restore myself so I come back to baseline.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
you're feeling better. Like, you could feel your face flushing, and I don't know if you've ever had like a panic attack out of nowhere, but they are remarkably uncomfortable.
Oh no, I have what my therapist liked to call extraordinary anxiety.
mm,
Um, I get panic attacks daily, and
Mhm.
then I get the occasional. I don't. He didn't know what to call them, but I have panic attacks that last a week. I've had 3 of those in my life.
So yeah, effectively, that. Colin has kind of come over and gone, "You guys okay? I didn't think you were going just yet."
We weren't, but when we were in there
No, it,
for so
shop.
long,
Stay out of the shop.
Sure.
yes, there's some sort of effect that tried to make us pass out, and I think I was sitting right at its epicenter.
Vala, do you have mage? Do you have mage hand?
I think I do.
You have 12 cantrips.
I didn't
That's
want that one. Why would
Mi-
I want? I can't
Little
make
Miss
fire
12
with
fucking
it.
cantrips.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Is one of them
Yes,
mage hand?
Mage Hand is one of them.
Okay.
Like, okay, because I thought I remembered you using it before. Rowan's like, can you close that door without going over there?
I will do that. But doesn't Thaumaturgy do the same thing?
Rowan, I kind of treat that like a reaction. Like, I think no. Honestly, like, Rowan's kind of like his thaumaturgy's really kind of been an instinctual reaction. I don't think he's ever tried to like shut a door with his thaumaturgy.
Because I think Thaumaturgy, you can force them all open, or you can
Cause
force
an
them
unlocked
closed.
door or
Yeah.
window or fly slammer shut. Like, I was like, I just didn't think about, because again, like I said, with the thaumaturgy side, when he does it, it's kind of a reactionary, like when his like dealing with
As you
shit.
guys could close the door, you watch as Colin kind of blinks for a little bit and goes, "You sure it's in the shop? Whoa, man.
It might be the whole town.
Yeah. I'm okay, but maybe we want to do this fast, because that was intense." And you see him kind of just like holding on to the vial that you gave him. If you don't want me joining you, I may have to use this myself.
Let's take, before this happens. Let's go to the guild hall. Let's get situated. Let's not do this out in the middle of the
Yes.
All right.
street.
Yeah, definitely. And so you guys all go in. Again, the kind of dormitory area is kind of broken up into some smaller rooms and some bigger rooms. The biggest of which has 16 beds, and 11 of them now are taken up by townspeople. Do you guys want
That's
to be
not
in
an
that
ominous
room,
coincidence.
or do you guys want to be in a different room?
Different room. Well, I was playing around with the idea. Like, we know where Esmeralda is. I think it's just better to leave this, not to move her.
Okay. I say we go with Relwyn's lead.
Yeah.
All right. So, all of you take your vials. As you uncork it, it is potent. Strong, earthy tone to it.
Yeah,
It has
distilled
something
mushroom.
kind of like tickles the back of your throat. As you press it up to your little lips, it is a thick concoction. And it kind of clumps in your mouth. It's got almost like a grainy feel to it. And as it goes down your throat, it coats all the way down. And when it gets to your stomach, it just sits there in a lump. You can feel it trying to pull your stomach down. It's so dense and heavy. And as you kind of deal with the flavor and the kind of graininess in your mouth, you suddenly start...
My name is Rowan Remisen.
You start feeling kind of lighter. You start feeling kind of like you're floating. You all slowly lie down. You feel sleep start to overtake you. And that is where we're going to end it for tonight. As always, I do upload all these to my YouTube channels, youtube.com/TrainerJody. Because this month had 5 Wednesdays, we played this game 2 weeks in a row. next week we'll be traversing the Veil, so we will get back to this story in 2 weeks. Otherwise, again, it's gonna be all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right, bye bye.